You're listening to Retrospection Radio Theater. I'm Noah Martin, your narrator and host. We are proud to bring you Retrospection Radio Theater Season 7, Dreamwalker, featuring original music by Lizzie Zink. Friday, exactly 3 weeks after the incident which took Stirling's life and forever changed the lives of all those around him. 2 weeks ago, Emily was released from the hospital. A week later, Carter was released. Though they were both relatively battered in their own ways, they each decided to take some more time to recover at home. Emily because she thought that
all of the kids in school are going to make fun of me.
And Carter because
it's hard to concentrate.
Stella was just trying to be a good mother. She didn't want to force her kids into school after the traumas they just faced. Besides, it was kind of nice to get to spend time with her kids during the day. She'd wake up while they're both still asleep. Then sometimes she'd make them breakfast out of habit. Then she'd remember and stop midway through. Finally, she'd make her way to work. And you know the best part of the day? Coming home and seeing her children.
Hello, sweetie. How was your day today?
Can you get the crackers off the top shelf for me? I can't reach them.
Of course, dear.
You're home. I'm trying to catch up on the work I missed this past month. Can you help me? I've been having trouble staring at the paper for too long.
Was it bad that she actually enjoyed this? Without Stirling around, her imposter syndrome began to fade. She is wanted, needed by the kids. She is serving her purpose as a mother and a parent. And then it dawned on her. She thought.
This is exactly the feeling I thought I'd have when I became a mother. But I was so empty. I thought Carter would fix that emptiness. But it's made it worse for all these years. And now? Is it bad to say I feel better with him dead?
Truly a difficult question to answer. Is it good that she is enjoying life without her husband, despite how good of a man and father he was to the family? Or is it bad to even consider it with his body so fresh in the ground?
Here are the crackers, sweetie. All right, Carter, let's sit down and look at the work. Well, why do you have it in your backpack?
Mrs. Dunleavy has been dropping off my homework. I figured it made sense to give her my backpack to store all the stuff I need to do in. I don't want her to have to carry around a bunch of folders or papers.
Very considerate of you.
Plus, it feels weird not keeping schoolwork in my backpack, you know?
Mom, can you go? Never mind.
What is it?
I said never mind.
I can't help.
I don't need your help.
Did I do something wrong?
It's not about you. Just forget I said anything.
Okay.
Emily wheels in a circle and begins to make her way to the staircase. On her way out, she runs into the side of the kitchen counter, muttering a curse. She continued wheeling toward the stairs. Upon her arrival, she used what little body strength she had left to lift herself from the chair. She lurched forward, impacting with the stairs.
Sweetie, are you okay?
Stella calls from the kitchen. Emily grasps a stair and begins to pull herself up. Her arms shake under the stress, and they begin to waddle as her strength already wanes. It requires a great deal of strength to constantly roll around in a wheelchair, let alone lift yourself up an entire carpeted staircase. She places one hand firmly on a step, then uses it to push herself up another step. She grabs onto the step, but with the lack of feeling in her paralyzed legs, she didn't realize her legs were laid straight instead of being cradled into the nook of the stair. Her strength waned. Then, her arm supporting her body collapsed. She fell onto the staircase and then slid back down at a rapid speed to the bottom.
Honey. Oh, don't cry, Emily. It's okay. It's okay. Don't cry.
want to be normal again. It shouldn't be so hard just to go up the stairs. I just want to be normal.
I know.
Are you okay?
Why did we ever have to get in that car?
What do you mean?
The fight, and then the ice cream, and the car ride back. If we'd have just left 5 minutes earlier, or if Dad had forgotten his keys inside and gone in, if it had just been different.
But things weren't different.
The ghost of their father had been watching the whole time. He figured it was his duty to watch over his family, even if he were powerless.
And they won't ever be. I'm dead.
Acceptance.
And you're all going to grow into wonderful, amazing people. You may not be able to walk, but the strides you'll set will outpace everyone else. You may have trouble remembering, but your mind is as quick to love as ever. You're my children, and I love you. So don't wish it was different. Because even the bad things make us who we are today and who we'll be.
But nobody could hear him. He was speaking into the nothingness of the room.
I wish it was different too. I miss your father. And I wish I could see you run again. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right.
You're saying that so you'll believe it.
I don't know.
We're broken, Mom. Emily's legs and my brain. I was supposed to start getting better from the concussion by now. It's been a while, but I haven't. I still feel sick all the time. And I honestly don't really remember what it was like going to school. It's just bits and pieces. Just snapshots.
Why are we alive? Why couldn't we have just died with Dad? Then we wouldn't have to suffer.
Don't ever say that! Your life is so precious. You have so much of it left. Don't ever think that you'd be better off if you dropped dead.
I don't know. I want to say God or the universe or fate. But I don't know. I don't want to see you suffer. But I don't want you to die either.
What's the point of all this?
I don't think there is a point. I think this is life. The good balances the bad. We had the best ice cream ever and an amazing time with Dad. And now we'll never get that again. It just makes us appreciate the one time it happened.
But doesn't it make you angry?
Yes, it does. Because I can't really remember what we talked about. I don't really remember what flavor I got. I don't remember how long we were there. And because I can't even remember what my mind is trying to tell me were amazing moments, it makes me angry. Have you ever had that? Your brain tells you to commit it to memory, to remember everything that happened on this night. And so you remember just how important the night was, where you were, and what you were doing, but you forget everything else. All the fine print.
But you can still remember something. It's not all gone.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
I wouldn't expect you to. You've never known. Dad's always been the better parent, and he's gone.
I don't want to live in his shadow.
Don't say that, Emily.
But it's true. Whenever I needed a ride to school, I asked Dad. Whenever you want to go to a friend's house, you ask Dad. Whenever I felt sick, I'd ask Dad to take me to the doctor. Dad cared.
Your mother cares too, just in her own way.
I don't want to talk about this right now. If you need help getting up the stairs, I'll help you. But if not, let's get you in the wheelchair again so you can keep moving.
I don't need your help. I'll be fine.
At least let me help you into the chair.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Carter looked between the two women, a sense of confusion crossing his face. Where had this animosity come from? Sure, Emily had argued with Stella in the past, but now she won't even accept help?
Carter, do you still need help with your homework?
We were working on homework?
Yes.
I think so.
Stella placed her hand on Carter's shoulder, leading him back into the kitchen. Emily watched as the two go. Then, she turned to the stairs and began to think. If she can't use her legs, then she can't walk up the stairs. And if she couldn't go up the stairs forward, Perhaps she could scoot up the stairs backwards. Slowly, she dragged herself upward and slid along the floor toward the first step. Her muscles screamed as she raised herself once again, but this time she could easily plant her butt on the first step. Then she lifted herself to the second step. Eventually, she was upstairs and crawling toward her bedroom. Stirling watched the whole time.
I wish I could just help you. Just lift you up the stairs. You shouldn't have to go through this. You're so fiercely independent, but you don't have to be. You can lean on your mother. You can lean on Carter.
Emily finished crawling into her room. She grabbed the edge of the door and slammed it shut. She crawled over toward her bed, looking up at the towering frame before her. She reached for the edge of the bed, hoping to pull herself up. But the blankets slid off the bed, making her fall for the upteenth time today. This time, despite hearing it, Stella did not rush upstairs to check on her daughter.
I just want to be normal.
Emily whispered as she wrapped herself in blankets. She closed her eyes and began to cry for everything she had lost. Her friends, her sports, her clubs, her family, her legs.
Don't cry. It's going to be okay.
But even Stirling knew that it's going to take a long time to heal. And even wounds tear open again sometimes.
Everyone hates me. It's so clear. My friends don't want me. Feeder doesn't want me. Even Mom doesn't want me. Carter's the only one who seems to somewhat care. But even then, who's to say he'll even remember what just happened? Our family is broken. Without Dad, we're just gonna end up on the streets. If Mom even sticks around to care for us that long. I can't do this alone, Dad. I need you. I wish you were here.
I'm right here.
But you're not. You're gone. And all that's left is half a functioning girl who can't even climb a fucking staircase. What's everyone at school gonna think of me? She was someone who could walk. And now she's a cripple. I'm gonna be such a burden on everyone around me. I'm gonna have to take the elevators to class. They're gonna have to change my desk. I don't even know if the doors are big enough for my wheelchair. I wish I mattered. I wish everyone around me didn't hate me. God, I'm so worthless.
It wasn't long before Emily trailed off into her sleep, and all Stirling could do was just watch. Just wait. His words didn't matter. They didn't impact her. They couldn't. He was dead, and forced to watch as his family fell apart. But God, does he love his family. So much so that he could feel his love radiating in an aura around him. So much so that he wished Emily could feel that love and warmth, to know that he was watching over her. And to his surprise, dear listener, the environment around him began to shift. Stella stood from the table.
I don't understand this at all.
I don't either.
Why did they have to change math? Why? Math made sense, but this book is asking you to do so many things just to get the answer. Why aren't you allowed to use a calculator? I don't think I've done long division on paper for 20 years.
I don't know, Mom.
You know what? I'm going to call your teacher.
Don't do that, please. I'll figure it out, I promise.
No, I'm going to call your teacher and ask her why she's assigning homework like this. It's way too difficult for a student, let alone a student recovering from a terrible accident.
It's okay, Mom.
Why don't you go in the other room and watch some TV as I chat with her?
Okay. Just be nice, okay?
I promise.
Mrs. Huxley, is everything okay?
Miss Oakes, I wanted to talk to you about the homework you assigned my son.
Which assignment?
The long division assignment.
Oh, yes, of course. It's completely okay if he's unable to do it. He missed a lot of the unit in class, and I know things are tough at home right now. I don't expect him to do the homework.
Where do you get off thinking you can assign this Common Core shit?
Excuse me?
You're assigning homework that can be completed by a calculator, or in an easier way. And you're expecting him to do this super convoluted process to get to the answer.
Mrs. Huxley, I have to follow a curriculum set by the state, and in this case, that curriculum is the Common Core. I can't do anything about the homework except delay it, which is completely okay. I don't expect him to do it anytime soon. You've got a lot on your plate.
You've got such nerve telling me you can't do anything about it. You're his teacher. You should be able to change it.
I know you're going through a lot right now. But please don't raise your voice at me. I've told you I can't do anything about it. If I could, then I would. But I can't. You know it. So please, if there's nothing else to say, I'll bid you good night.
I just think it's funny that you can't even change your classes.
Goodbye, Mrs. Huxley.
I just want to feel needed.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Retrospection Radio Theater. Featured in this season are Noah Martin as the narrator and additional voices, Sterling C. Beard as Stirling Huxley, Mari McMeans as Carter Huxley,
Sam Myers as Stella Huxley,
Emily Brewer as Emily Huxley. Providing additional voices are Mickey Joe and Mystic Waters. Our theme song was produced by Lizzie Zink and is available on all streaming platforms. Check out the link in the bio to listen to it. New episodes released Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please consider following, rating, or reviewing this podcast. You can also donate to the Ko-fi and Patreon link in the description. Your donations go towards paying cast members and helping produce more content. You can follow Retrospection Radio Theater on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. For information about starting your own podcast, or for links to our social medias, you can go to www.retrospectionmultimedia.com. Join us again next week for another thrilling episode of Retrospection Radio Theater Season 7.